I fixed that slide a minute ago, so I'm the second last talk. I'm going after Michael. Talk titles are stupid. My name is Jan. I'm Jan Lehnardt. You can find me on Twitter. Things I've worked on or spent my time with, including CouchDB, Mustache.js, and most famously, I hope, JSConf.eu. Got to extend my thanks to Kian for inviting me. It's an immense pleasure to hang out with you guys and gals, and even be allowed to be on stage. So. Thanks. I'll be speaking, or Kian invited me to speak about open source communities. Yeah, it's fine. It's a black screen. Give me 1 second. I have to do a thing here. All right. Can you make that my nose doesn't make the breathing sound on the mic? All right. Just not breathe then. All right. All right. My original plan was to go and look at Node from an outsider's perspective. I spent a bunch of years in PHP land. I'm doing CouchDB for half a decade now. Dabbled with other languages, and I'm a child of open source communities, basically. So I thought I'll take all of that and look at Node, and then kind of see or figure out that Node and you guys, the Node community, just avoid all or most of the mistakes that other communities make, and just by that, Node becomes the most exciting community of all time. That was my poor man's argument. But then Michael and Isaac gave their keynotes yesterday, and they had a way better point about why Node is great, and I hope you agree with these guys as well. So I don't actually have to make that particular point anymore. So that's a bit annoying here. The point that Michael and Isaac were making, I think it doesn't matter if I say Isaac or Isaacs, you all know who I mean. That while Node is successful, and that's a great thing, the bigger thing is the trajectory that Node is on to become even more successful. And that trajectory that it is on, that this is so exciting, I'm hardly, I can't find words. Node is going to change and dominate everything. And I'm really oh my God, yeah, this is so cool. And I'm at loss for words I'm super happy that it's the case. So Node is on the trajectory to disrupt all of IT. And making strawman's arguments again, since IT powers the whole of the world, and revolutions and industries and whatnot, we're going to take everything over. I like that. And this organization that we're having through GitHub-centric community takes people like Clay Shirky, who have been referenced before, and if you believe Clay Shirky, and you should, this form of community will disrupt society and politics outside of technology as well. To get into it a little bit more, and basically to reiterate what the other guys have said before, Node's core complement or accomplishments, I have a nice bullet point list here. There's no language war. JavaScript is good enough. You can argue all you want, but that's the language of Node. Nobody cares, fine. The next point is a small core and a really neatly defined abstraction to build modules on top of it. And all the good that Node is no, it's fine. It's all good. This slide is intentionally left black. Thanks, though. A very clear abstraction for module system on top of Node. And all the good that Node is in this module system. When Michael and I think Max talked about that module abstraction yesterday, and said this is one of the most powerful things. It is one of the most powerful things, it's true. And an extension of that, but I want to give it a shout out extra here, is NPM that sits on top of it, which is a fantastic distribution model for building, for having a module system in the cloud, which is great. And then the community kind of revolves around a non-leadership model, like people are in charge and they go forward and do stuff, but the actual, there's no, this doesn't give you a permanent stance in the community, and the people can be exchanged. If other people come and do something awesome, they get to lead the community. I like that a lot. And to get a little bit more technical, before I do, I'll take a sip here. Node's whole promise, and it has been repeated about 1,000 times here, is that it wants to be good at building networked servers. And when I read that for the first time, I'm like, that's neat. Question marks. It does not try to be an immersive development environment like .NET, like Java, like Cocoa. It doesn't try to be a framework like Rails or Django and whatever else is out. It turns out that the concept of a network server is a really good abstraction for building all sorts of software. So by trying hard to avoid being everybody's darling, Node focused on being just one thing and do one thing really well, and thus became everybody's darling, or as we learned, was on the trajectory to be everybody's darling. In my day job, I work on Apache CouchDB. It's written in Erlang. The whole programming paradigm in Erlang revolves around building miniature network servers that do one simple job. We do this for robustness, fault tolerance, ease of reasoning, finally, through the VM parallel execution. And we put these mini servers together to be like a big honking software that doesn't have to be a server. It's just a really neat abstraction. And then many other components of desktop software, of mobile software, they can be expressed as miniature network servers. And then going all the way back to Smalltalk, the definition of object-oriented programming is independent entities, objects that have data and behavior that send messages back and forth to build larger systems. Object-oriented programming has a network server as its core concept. So it's really good that Node focused on that part out of necessity, basically. With the keynotes yesterday morning, and after looking at all the fantastic technical talks we saw over the past 2 days, I hope you got a sense not for only how successful Node is, but also why, and why that is even more important than the current success. I'll take a step back here. We can now build entire systems in pure JavaScript, front-end and back-end, and this is significant. We can also control flying quadcopters, we can do robots, we can power mobile experiences. We're bridging all fields of computer science from hardware up to fancy 3D rendering, all in JavaScript. And all of it is becoming good enough in the same sense that JavaScript is good enough to be the language of Node to go out and build everything. We can literally build everything in JavaScript. Everything. Like ATMs, like cars, there's no limit. None. And this is where this talk becomes emotional. The people in this room, the ones at the other Node conferences, the JavaScript conferences and the front-end conferences, and even the people in the field, we are going to be building the next generation of software, infrastructure, and products. Everything, you and me, we are building the future. We will be powering the ongoing digitalization and networkification of the world, of commerce, of governments. It's not going to be the enterprise Java folks, not the PHP people, not Rails, us. That isn't to say that the others won't have their place, but we'll have the lion's share of things to do. And to invoke Clay Shirky one more time, they are from a time before GitHub. I'll take another step back, a few in fact. We, the programmers and designers of the world, we have an incredible gift. A gift that nobody else has, and many have tried to gain for millennia. We can generate, or we can create gold out of thin air, or maybe thick coffee. A show of hands, who here in this room considers to be in her or his dream job? A few more hands, please. We get to dictate the conditions of our employment. We dictate salary, we dictate working hours, and we dictate what we want to work on. Nobody else has that freedom. Yet, we are relying on a society that does their job. Many of the speakers here, myself included, have come from far away to share our thoughts with us, to hang out, to have fun. We came here by plane, rode in cabs, stayed in hotels or friends' houses. We enjoy coffee and lunch here and dinner in the city. We use public transport, or in a broader sense, we are relying on education to get us more employees, to build experts in fields that we need to run this whole thing. And we rely on all sorts of stuff. We rely on medical service, all these important things that nobody really ever thinks about. And all of this is built and run by people who do their job, that do not get to dictate salary, working hours, or what they fancy to work on. We live such abstracted lives that we can concentrate on creating immersed value from literally and figuratively nothing. On top of that, we get paid ridiculous amounts of money, like a lot of money, absolutely, and in comparison to what other people make. And it's absolutely fantastic. I love every minute of this. It is an immense privilege that I get to live a life I choose, and you guys too. It's awesome. But reflecting on all of this leaves me with a sense of responsibility for my fellow people. Those who don't get to burn through billions of venture capital money to play table tennis all day. Not the ones that actually manage to return an investment and make obscenely rich people even richer. At the expense of innovation, at the expense of personal freedom, prosperity, security. Jeff Hammerbacher, formerly of Facebook, said, "The best minds of my generation are thinking about how to make people click ads. That sucks." That's a quote out of context and whatever, and people are like from the ad industry and trying to like put that into perspective, but no, it sucks. And I agree. And I feel responsible to build a future, technologically and socially, that values humanity over profit. I hope you feel that responsibility as well. Given the premise that we, the people in this room, are on the verge of setting the stage for the world, what can we do to make sure our reign will be remembered as a good one? Because there will be people replacing us, we'll die eventually. But what can we do to make this a good one? 100 years from now, not say, hey, these assholes totally screwed us up for everybody. What can we do to be the good guys? And given that we accept that through the ways things And given that we accept that through the ways things are set up today, that we are in an incredibly privileged position that comes with a social responsibility, what should we do with it? I'm not here to try to plaster my own agenda over you. Instead, I'm sharing a few points of view to encourage you to think, or to actively think about your own. One of my most absolute favorite things of all time is Mozilla. It's a non-profit organization that owns a for-profit company. It's called the organization Hack. I love this. So the non-profit keeps to set the goals for the company, while the company uses capitalism, markets, money as a tool to build stuff that benefits everybody. Firefox, browser ID, do not track, all built expressly against the financial benefits of one single institution. Why don't we have more organizations like this? Nerds imagined and built Mozilla. We can do, too. Like in 100 years, nobody will say, well, Mozilla was a bunch of assholes that screwed us all over. They're doing the right thing. And why don't we? Imagine a mobile carrier that is set up like Mozilla, globally run, with a user in mind, engaging the community for support. Imagine sane data plans, free roaming between GSM technologies and community-provided Wi-Fi. Net access for everyone, cheaply, not bullshit telecommunication companies that just screw us over while they just like administrate a public resource like air. Let's build a mobile carrier like this. You and me. Let's do this. Better yet, while we're doing this, we're encouraging others to do the same. We need 10 of those or 100 and then have them all work together. Let's take this idea and apply it to many, many more aspects and areas of life. Or, to follow Michael a little bit, defy organizations altogether, just build stuff and loosely coupled communities that circumvents and dominates all the current institutions who are set up to exploit rather than support us. Let's hack and fork business models and community patterns as freely as we fork code. Let's work on the problems that matter. Let's work at the scale that makes an impact. We're all JavaScript people. The future is ours. Thank you.